So, Alfred, because I just learned I can't pronounce your last name. How it was
It's Carcieri.
Carcieri. So it was like I'm saying cherry, but I'm also having Tourette's. So I'm like, Carcieri.
Yeah, that's pretty good, actually.
I'm sneezing a cherry. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
But I read it like an Irish person trying to read an Italian menu, and it was Carcieri. So I'm like all proud of myself. I'm like Carcieri, and I'm like all proud of myself. And I was saying it last night. It's like, well, tomorrow I'll say Carcieri because the podcast I recorded yesterday was with Bobby Tamburo. I'm like, that's simple and easy.
Yeah.
I got Alfred Carcieri. And we have never met, so of course, right before this, I'm like, is it Al or Alfred? And you're a good person, so you're like, whatever. Fuck you. Fuck anyone who says whatever. Own your name. This is not Roots. I am not a slave owner. I am not going to give you your government name. You're like, it's really Toby. Nope, it's Alfred Carcieri. Like, that's what I'm doing. So it's Alfred. Alfred, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When you take a stage and a host brings you up and they butcher your last name, do they say Alfred or Al?
Alfred.
Okay. They go, Alfred. My move was, if I can't say a last name when I started, I would say, get the crowd cheering a lot. Come on, guys, get your hands going. It was so noisy, they couldn't hear me go, Alfred, hey!
I had a couple of those. I actually got so drunk one of my first times ever hosting. I got the headliner's first name wrong.
Nice. I've seen that happen.
Dave Rousseau. No, it's not Dave. He was such a nice guy, though. He just, no problem.
Was it Dave Russo? Who was the guy?
It was Jeff Brousseau, actually.
Oh, okay, now I'm close. There's a guy named Dave Russo. I'm like, he would have yelled at you forever for that.
Yeah.
I've had my name not butchered, but like because when I first started, my name was my joke because Patos looks like potatoes. It was a stupid fucking, I'm Irish. People called me potatoes for like years, and it was just like, ugh. But like whenever I would do that joke, I'd go to do it. It was like one of my main jokes. A host would not realize that or think about it, so they'd bring me without any credits because I was new. I didn't have any credits. I was just clubs in college, whatever lie you do. They were like, this guy's so Irish, his name looks like potatoes, Patos. And I'm like, you just did my act.
Dude, you just killed my opener.
Yeah. Did you guys hear what that guy said? You guys didn't listen to the host, right? No one does, right? Yeah, well, I'm going to do it.
This guy thinks dating is hard and doesn't like himself. Please welcome Pat Oates. Yeah. Well, there's the first 10 minutes of my act.
Yeah, this guy is not happy with himself and thinks you don't like him either. This is are his parents here? Because they already knew that. Pat Oates, everybody. Here he is. So, are you a pet person?
I actually am. Yeah, I have a dog.
Do you love them? You can have one.
I do.
Love dogs.
You know how much I love dogs?
No, I don't. How much do you love them?
I literally put a joke out where I said I love dogs so much I punch a baby to pet a dog.
Nice. I thought you were gonna say I fuck my dog. I'm like, oh wow, I landed a real good guest. The guy who's like pro bestiality. He's like.
Well, I was just living in Washington State for 8 years, and they seem to enjoy it up there.
I don't see where I'm East Coast. I don't know. Do they fuck animals there?
Okay. You ever hear that famous video of the dude getting fucked to death by a horse?
No.
You've never heard of that?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I've heard people say guys got fucked to death by a horse. I thought it was just like urban legend. There's a
right now, you could go to 2guys1horse.com and watch it's one of the greatest films ever released. It's class.
The only part that makes me sad is that this guy died, but they only could do like a parody of another awful video. Like their title wasn't even good enough to not be 2 Girls, 1 Cup, the sequel. It's got to be 2 Guys, 1 Horse. Like he died. You don't need a fun pun title. You don't need a parody for it. You don't need to Weird Al it up. The guy died from horsecock. You don't need to make it silly in Dr. Seussy.
Hey, when you're already in the water, you might as well swim. You know what I'm saying?
But why? I'm talking about the title. Whoever made the video, fuck them. That guy died for our entertainment, and you're going to call it 2 Guys, 1 Horse?
He was trying to die for his pleasure, and it just went horribly wrong.
I don't think he was trying to die.
No.
He was trying to have the time of his life.
Well, dude, so that story is crazy. The guy was an engineer for Boeing. like the people who build airplanes.
The people who don't fuck horses.
Well, all but one. And this guy, there was a farm. A bunch of dudes in Enumclaw, Washington, got together on a farm and would drink and mess around with animals. And one time, this guy went out there, and it just went horribly wrong.
These guys would get together and then
There's a documentary about it. There's a
Oh,
documentary
Lord.
about it called Zoo. Check it out sometime.
Why? See, I would have called the video like horse riding or just something like that. Just, I don't know anything better than two guys. Because who's the second guy? He's the cameraman?
No, the camera's on a tripod. This best friend of all best friends
Not really. He leaked this
guides
shit.
the horse. The dude is bent over, and so he's guiding the horse into him.
Wow. That's got to be cool to have someone that close to a friend. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was in the military, and I've never had a friend that close.
I grew up in a big family. We would never do that for each other.
I'm
Ever.
Italian. We're oozing with family members. Nobody is helping you get railed by a horse.
No one. They're going to do it on their own and then, like, give the horse head in your bed afterwards when you're done. It's a whole new meaning to horse head in your bed.
Yeah.
Now it just sucks your dick. You're not dead anymore. Now you're getting blown by a horse.
Oh, Wilbur.
What would be worse, getting blown by a horse or getting fucked by a horse?
For sure getting blown because it's going to eat your dick.
Not even that, eye contact.
And the eyes blink weird.
Yeah,
too.
they're just looking at you, the teeth and everything, and you're just like, and then at one point you're gonna try to skull fuck it. How do you
You're
not?
going to try and well, there's no chance of you gagging it. Unless you're Mandingo, you're not going to gag a horse. Look how much head they have.
Yeah, I know, but
It's all snout.
But how much throat do they? I don't really know how much throat they have. Where's their choking point? It might be higher up. We put that bit in their mouth early on. You know what I mean? So maybe they be terrible at the dentist. Maybe that's why their teeth are terrible.
I don't know. I think from what I've seen on Mr. Ed, I believe firmly that a little bit of peanut butter and you can get a horse to do just about anything.
What I've seen when I was in college and the dog that lived in our house and my roommate, you could do a dog anything for peanut butter. They really love it. They fucking really love it. They will do anything and they will look sad at you like they were a crack whore who needed their fix. They don't care. My friend didn't care. He was like, whatever, I'm lonely and I buy it food. I'm like, you didn't come. I don't know.
I've been lonely. Never been that lonely.
No. What's worse, paying a human for sex or giving your dog a treat?
Giving your dog a treat.
Yeah, I think so.
Because the human can consent on some level. Like, nobody who's in sex work is there because they think it's awesome.
Right.
They're usually there because they have to be. But at least there's some semblance of, like, I'm going to give you this, then we'll do that. And that's okay? Yes? Good. A dog is just like, come on, man.
Well,
really?
We're about not even 10 minutes in. We've talked about horse fucking, and I thought that'd be the controversial part. But how dare you, Alfred? How dare you say that now in 2020 that a woman wouldn't be proud to be a sex worker? How dare you? Women now, they own that. They want to be that. It's respectable. How dare you say they don't feel good? That's their love. That's their drive to be fucked by strangers for $13 in a weird room. That's what they've always wanted to do. How dare you, as a white male, tell these women they don't love that dream? They were raised to be, their parents looked at them and said, you're going to be a princess. Yeah, a princess that takes it in the ass for money. That's what I want to be. I'm going to live in Brooklyn, and I'm going to be a comic that doesn't have punchlines, and I'm going to get fucked for money. And that's not based on a real person I know. Anyway.
Sounded a little specific.
Yeah, it's kind of what I do.
Yeah, dude, sorry. I'm just one of those guys who've, like, read statistics. Like, there's data. There's that weird data thing out there. And even, like, where sex work is legal in Amsterdam, like, 80% of them are trafficked in.
Yeah, but with traffic means what does traffic mean? Someone's trying to go somewhere good. Whenever you see traffic, it's in front of what? Disney, a baseball game, somewhere fun. So traffic is a good thing is what I hear. Oh no, it has a K in it. So it has a K in it, then it's bad.
It's the K. Anytime the letter K gets involved, it's bad.
Yep. Every child's innocence lost begins with K. That's the new commercial.
That's the new K Jewelers look.
I don't think they're happy about it. K. I almost said KKK Jewelers by stuttering. Didn't mean it, but I'm sure that's a hack joke. Someone's like, I can't believe Pat just stole my joke. Now I can't do my spaghetti dinner in Idaho. Yeah, you can. You still can. So
I've
obviously,
performed in Idaho.
I was
Let
gonna
me
say,
tell you something. It's dangerous out there.
what I was gonna say was, by your accent, you're obviously from the East Coast, probably Boston or Rhode Island, but you're living out there now. Where are you living now?
Okay, so I was born in Maine, went to
Okay.
college in Boston. Parents are from Rhode Island, and after college, I joined the Army to pay off the college,
Right.
and then bounced around the world a couple of times. Landed in Washington State, started doing comedy in Washington State, and it was going kind of well, so I stuck around. And now I live in North Carolina because the world was ending, and I wanted some property.
Like, where in North Carolina? Like, you don't say
Outside
place
of
by section.
outside of Raleigh.
Okay. Yeah, I went to Raleigh. I did the Oak City Comedy Festival a couple of years ago. And
Nice.
no, I wouldn't say nice. No, it was fine. It was their first year doing it, and they were wonderful people. It was really awesome. But like when you go to network, it was like there weren't many people to really network with. They were so new. There wasn't like I shouldn't have been one of the better. I should never be one of the better people on a festival. That's how I always feel. And,
For sure. Yeah. I know what you mean. You want to be like the new guy at the festival.
or at least someone I can network and see other people. And I wanted to find places that my parents, my mom and her boyfriend live in North Carolina, farther away from like an hour or so away from there. But I wanted to be able to just hook up enough so I could go out there once a year, perform somewhere, make some money, and then that network.
See your family.
Well, no, have an excuse to see them. Like, yeah, I'm seeing you,
I hear
but
you.
I'm doing it for work, but
Right.
not just go there, do a festival, and have to spend money to go. And that did not happen.
Yeah, you weren't able to link up with any like bookers or anything out there.
There was no one there. It was a cool little city to be in. It's very hipstery and cool and all that, but like, no, nothing.
Yeah, I got lucky. I actually had friends help get me into like the Boston scene a little bit. Like I got to host over at Nick's with my buddy Big J Hollingsworth.
How
Irish
mad is
J.
Big J that Big J Hollingsworth, who's hilarious,
Big Irish J. I fucked up.
No,
yeah.
then Big J blows up Okerson, and it's like, God damn it, like because it's all. First of all, Big J Hollingsworth, a bigger J. If you have to say big, he's bigger than Okerson. Taller.
Well, Okerson's lost some weight, and
even taller, but Hollingsworth is big.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's a mutant.
Yeah, he's funny too. So it's like some guy who's not really talented with that name. Like you can see like some losers like Big J. You're like, dude, you're 5'4", you're not funny, you can't be that. He's also super talented with the same fucking name.
Yeah,
that's
he's
like
a good.
Years
well,
ago,
he has Irish. I fucked up. He adds the Irish. Big Irish J.
He has to keep adding things. Big Irish J. It's still, we all know what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Someday they should just have like a Stone Circle death match to just decide who gets to keep it.
I don't know if they should have to die. I think they can just do.
This is entertainment in the era of COVID. You gotta really want it.
You could have made a comedy roast out of it, but you killed them. Like what we should do is we should make 2 statues of them and then see what rioters knock which one down. And then the one that's left over. That's the new way we settle things now, by knocking down a statue.
I can get down with that. That's fun. I
couldn't knock down a statue. I just don't care. I don't care. That's a lot of work.
I'm not doing anything. I watch the news like a reality TV show now. Yeah. Me and my girl, once this COVID thing started, because we were trying to buy a house out in Washington. And once this bullshit started, we were like, fuck this.
Who would have thought that out there, when you think like peaceful and all that kind of stuff, that would have been like Death Central. That would have been it. Where they make a town named after Cher's son and they just go to take after everything. It's so stupid.
Dude, being from the East Coast and living in the Pacific Northwest for like 8 years, what a fucking experience. Those people are out of their minds.
Is the coffee really better? We have good coffee here. I was saying we have good coffee.
No, the coffee's not better out there. I'll take Dunkies any day of the week.
There's no Dunkins out there, right? Oh, there's some, but
no, they're all Starbucks.
Yeah. That's stupid because we have Starbucks for days too. We have a million of them.
But that's how good Dunkin' Donuts is. It's still around.
Yeah. They're not even Dunkin'. You just, like I was going to name you wrong. You named them wrong, sir. Now they're
Dunkin' now. They got their street name. They're just Dunkin'.
This is how much white people have ruined the world. Because, like, they're like, listen, you can't call it donuts. We can't, because people used to go there and buy donuts, but then, like, we can't eat donuts because I'm on keto. Do you know Dunkin' Donuts actually sells, you can get a paper bag full of bacon now?
Are you serious?
That's the thing. You can get a little paper bag with like a couple of strips of bacon as your meal. So keto people, because they needed to get people to buy food again because they weren't buying the fucking donuts and fucking
That
crullers.
might be the most American thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. Do you want just a bag of bacon?
Yeah.
It should say on the outside, bag o' bacon.
I think it might. I forget the name, but it's close. It's fucking on the nose to that, basically. You could just get bacon. Like,
I love New England. God, I miss it.
Like, my son doesn't like eggs. And so when he was little, we would go to the drive-thru and he would want the wake-up wrap, but he would say, wake up wrap with no egg, please. And a lady goes, like a bacon taco? He goes, yes, like a bacon taco. It was just bacon and cheese in the wrap. And I'm like, that's great. But then now they've even eliminated the wrap part. You could just get the bacon and then a coffee.
That's awesome.
Because, you got to be healthy. But by the way, people who do keto all the time, you shit too much. You should have a donut once in a while. They should bring donuts back because you got to fucking find it.
Do you do keto? Is that what you do?
Oh,
what do you?
I just don't. I cut out a lot of pizza, pasta, and bread.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Once in a while, but I have starches. I'll have rice, I'll have potato. And once in a while, I'll have it. Like, I have a cheat day once a week and stuff like that because I don't want to – I like my life. I don't want to be sad. And I don't want to shit a lot. And I don't want to talk to people.
So did you try keto and find that you were shitting all the time?
No, I just know people that do it all the time.
I was going to say because I did it, and oh, my God. It was like somebody opened up the fucking dam.
It is. Naturally, when you lose weight, and anyway, you're going to start shitting a lot. But with
it's got to go somewhere.
Well, and that's the thing. I've bored people on the podcast with this, but the one thing I looked up was when you eat a lot of flour and things like that, or wheat or anything like that, it doesn't have anywhere to go in your body naturally. That's why when people are really fat to eat a lot of bread and stuff, like Italian people, like no offense, but yeah, the cheeks and the wrists and the ankles, because that's where the excess shit that you can't get rid of goes. So when you stop eating it, your body finally starts to burn that part, and that's the shit flying out of you, and that's when you start losing that weight in your face and it doesn't know where to go. But you do need a little of it to bind it. Like when you're making a meatloaf, you don't throw an egg in the bitch, it's not gonna fucking form. You need a little egg in the bitch to form the poop, or you're gonna fucking buckshot all over the place.
Yeah, I did the keto thing and lost like 80 pounds. Like, I was loving it, dude. I was looking sexy as shit. And then I literally, like a fucking heroin addict, I had one slice of pizza, and it was right back down the shitter.
That's the problem with it. You shouldn't be taking away something so much that you know you're going to want back. So when I first did it, I didn't eat that stuff, but then I started to slowly, gradually, once in a while do it and treat myself, but know, hey, if I want to eat that way, I've got to continue to run or go to the gym or drink. Like, I cut out the worst things. Like, I haven't drank soda in years. I only drink water and black coffee once in a blue moon, like something maybe like iced tea or something. But for the most part, it's always water and black coffee. I don't try to eat really late at night. But once in a while I do, but I'll make sure every day now, part of my routine, I run or I go to the gym or do something to make sure that I burn off the shit.
Dude, late night eating is my fucking kryptonite, especially like when you live in the comic lifestyle and it's like you do like 2 or 3 shows and then you got this big adrenaline dump and you're fucking starving because you don't really eat while you're at it.
No, but you can do it. Like
the show you bitch. So then
you can do it. I think that when people say don't eat late at night, that's catered to people that work, do all their stuff during the day. What I found was because we're burning energy, we're doing our comedy. We're crying because people won't book us again. We're sad because the middle act in front of you, he's getting told he's better, but he did fucking half the time. He's not better. They knew I was coming. Anyway, all that sadness, y'all burn all that stuff. You're thinking about your act, all those things. Your body's going so much that you can eat late at night. But the key is to fast later. Don't wake up at 7 a.m. and then have a bacon, egg, and cheese. Fucking go for your run or walk in the morning to burn off what you did when you slept, or something like that. And then maybe not eat for like 12 to 15 hours. If you're going to eat at night, then build your hours then, and by the way, I'm not a doctor and that could be fucking wrong, but it doesn't fucking matter. I hate
that's on par.
But the keto people who turn around and go, this is what you need to do because they lost 4 pounds in 7 weeks and now they want to tell you that you're a fucking doctor. What works for you works for fucking you with everything. I have anxieties. I'm going through a lot of shit in my life right now, and I like to post about it. I've talked to my therapist about it. My whole life I share. So if I share it out loud and I say it on Twitter and stuff and talk about little things, not sharing everything, then it's not just some thing festering in my head. It becomes real. But then when I put that, 85,000 people on Facebook and some on Twitter want to tell me what I need to do for my anxiety. Well, like, you're not fucking me. You don't even know what caused it. And shut the fuck up because you're on Facebook fucking screaming for help as well. You're not well.
Yeah, not only that, if there was a time in history to have a little anxiety, I think now might be fucking it. First of all, we both decided to do stand-up comedy, which is a retarded decision anyway. But we did it. We're dedicating ourselves to it, and it is what it is. So before COVID, it was a dumb choice. Now that we're both doubling, there's all the reason in the world to be anxious.
Yeah, but you know what? My anxiety has nothing to do with comedy. It has nothing to do with COVID. It has nothing to do with, it's personal things in my life that I came from. Comedy is the only thing that I had that made me, besides my kids in my life, was the only thing that makes me stable. It's the only time I ever feel comfortable, like, on a stage in front of people I don't normally. Having it taken away during COVID sucked at first, but then I went right into this and started podcasting more and just found another creative thing and went running more and found outlets. It was the other shit in life, dealing with humans and people who like to take your feelings and destroy them, rip them down like Reagan in the Wall. Like they like to do that. Like, so those kind of things I couldn't handle. But comedy, it's literally the only time I've ever been accepted. Like, my whole life, people are like, you're too immature, you're a spaz, you're talking too much, you're trying too hard. Stop trying to be funny. And in comedy, they're like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. I'm like, oh, okay. I like this. I don't even realize I have so much anxiety and stress and PTSD and all that shit right now. I keep forgetting there's a quarantine. I keep forgetting there's COVID. People are like, how's it going? And I start crying. They're like, oh, COVID. Huh? I'm like, oh, yeah, COVID.
That's just the cherry on top for me, man. I got a whole other Sunday going
I'm not worried about COVID. I've never even gotten the flu in my life. I'm not going to get sick from some Chinese Dracula soup flu. I don't give a fuck. That's not going to get me. I'm not old. I'm not a minority. Listen, people say, oh, boo, white privilege. It helps with diseases sometimes.
Apparently with this one.
That's the only white privilege thing I have because I'm broke. I've never gotten anything from being white in my life. I get thrown off most shows because I'm not a fancy lady or something like that. So now I finally have this. I'm not going to get killed by Chinese disease.
That's it. That's your superpower.
That's my superpower. It's what I got.
That and a decent credit rating.
No. Oh, God. No. Divorce.
No, you're a comic. That kills that. Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's been awful forever. I think people listening to this are going to go, did he ask him about animals so Alfred could do a horse fucking bit? No, I really had a question, and that's how my show goes. I want to make sure I bring it back to that because if not, they're like, ew. He is speaking of animal fucking. It's like, that's how we start. My daughter's staying with me for the week, and they have at my ex-wife's house, they have a dog. And I don't have dogs. I'm not a dog person. I'm not an animal person. I don't hate them. I just don't care. I just don't. If you have one, great, but don't force it on me. I just don't have the investment. But because they had to go away, and my son went with my ex to go on vacation or whatever, my daughter's staying with me, and they had nowhere else to bring the dog. Now, I'm not even supposed to have a dog here, but I took my landlord, and he's like, yeah, for the week, that'd be cool. And the dog's been here for 2 days, and I love this fucking dog, but I know that I would not want any other dog, and I don't want their dog. So it's not like I have this dog now and I'm like, oh my God, now all animals. No, this animal's great because this animal came from like a bad time. It was raised to be like this fighter and like killer, like by bad people. And it was like as a puppy, and it was treated terribly. And now it's was loving dog, but also looks like Mike Tyson. It looks mean on the outside, but it's this thing that's broken on the inside. I'm like, it's me as a dog. Like, this is me as a dog. And I love that this thing is broken. And what I want, I know that story because the people that gave the dog told my daughter and my family that story. So they have a story to tell. What I want in life is I want that person. I want a person who walks around and tells people my story before they deal with me. So I have an origin thing. So they come out and go, before you deal with Pat, here's a couple house rules. Is that too much? If dogs can get it, why can't we?
That is $1 million business idea. That is it right there. You like in medieval times when a guy would go to joust, they would have the orator who would come up and be like, this is Grand Duke Fuckface from Fuckhead Mountain, and this is all his accomplishments. But they could do it for people like us and be like, listen, this is Pat. He's sad. He's loud.
First of all, I wanted to be Pat from Fuckhead Mountain. How dare you? That was my favorite mountain. I would be in the place going, ooh, Fuckhead Mountain.
Ooh.
They're like the Tar Heels of fucking jousting. Every year they bring out a new great team.
They're always in the Super 16, Fuckhead Mountain.
Why are they so tough? I don't know. Maybe because they're called fuckheads, the fighting fuckheads all the time. And that's tough to take when you're the fighting fuckheads of Fuckhead Mountain. It's a hard name. Yeah, but that, or like even in those times, like a bard who would go around and sing, like, this is the tale of Pat. He was raised poorly, like something like that. It's like, but I wasn't. My mom watches. Sorry, mom. You did well. Yeah, everything's named after me every show I have because I don't need attention or confidence. Anyway, so, but like, yeah, I would love that. And yeah, if you could get, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but if you could get someone, if you had your choice of being the person who is like, when retarded people need that wrangler or Sherpa, like that person that brings them around and goes, this is McDonald's. They're like, thank you. Like, and that person could do the job for me too. They can also come around and just have a list. Hey,
there's out-of-work lounge singers all across this country. Yes. They would love an opportunity to be somebody's singing introduction.
That's it. And even if you don't want to sing, if you're just good at talking, all you got to do, when you go by a house and you walk by and a dog starts barking and then the neighbors look and go, oh, that's just his way of saying hi. That's me. Like, I need them to, when they look at me and I go, ugh, they're like, well, that's just Pat's way of saying hi. Like, don't get too close. Ease in, but he's fine. He's loving. That's how he plays.
Definitely don't try to pet him while he's eating.
Right. When he brings up that you have no neck, that's just how he plays. He's not being mean. He's just brutally honest. That's, like when they say, well, he was just beaten when he was younger. It's like, yeah, as a dog, now I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm just brutally honest. I would like that. That'd be easier. Just don't pet his head. He doesn't like to be touched. It's not him. Don't worry about it. You don't need to stroke his head. Just let him go. And if he's alone in the room, let him do it. Sometimes he'll stare out the window, not because I'm a mailman, because he's paranoid that exes are going to come get him. But that he's fine. Just be nice, be loving to him. Ease in, and eventually he'll be fine, and he won't shit on your couch.
If you don't do this for the next time you go on stage, you're missing out. You fuck the host. Let the host do whatever the host is going to do. I want you to have a designated 1-minute opener who goes up right before you and just like he should dress like a medieval guy too and hold up a scroll. Hear ye, here comes the great Patrick of Oates.
Or just better. Before we begin, we had house rules. Here's Pat rules. Here's a couple of things. Do not make direct eye contact with Pat. Do not engage Pat unless Pat engages you first. Do not feed Pat during the show. Do not disagree with what Pat says. You may inside, but not on the outside. It will make Pat angry. Pat will attack. We are not liable for any of the attacks that Pat does if you bring up that you don't just agree with his points. Do not get upset that Pat isn't Black, Chinese, gay. He can't help what he is. He was born this way. Ladies and gentlemen, your headliner, Pat Oates. It'd be very nice.
It would be. I think, some kind of preamble. The Constitution had a preamble. I think comics need a preamble.
But then you get one comic to do it, and he goes over. It's like, dude, you're going over in the preamble? He's like, I fucking wrote a new bit in it. I got a new thing about you. I'm like, I don't want a new thing in it. It's a set thing. It's like, I don't know. His credits are, I do the preamble. I actually write the preamble. Oh, Pat says he wrote it, but I actually wrote the preamble, and then I fight with the fucking rights for the preamble. Like, fuck.
I mean, honestly, a lot of your preamble, a lot of the same rules for Gremlins. I don't know if you noticed that.
It's exactly what it is. And Gremlins, guess what? It's a good movie credit. People know who they are. This could help. This could be my thing. And I could do less time. Pat, how much time are you doing? 44 minutes. Like, 44? Why not 45? Preamble.
Preamble. It's in my contract.
I got to make room for the preamble. I need separate green room for the preambler. The preambler. I like that.
That's a great title. The preambler?
The preambler. Hello, dude, I am the preambler. He just walks in with an entourage like I'm fucking MC Hammer before he lost all his money. I just paying a preambler. Oh, my God, that'd be awesome. Where's the preambler from? Fuckhead Mountain. Don't you know?
That's where all the best preamblers come from.
You fine. You gave me good advice. I'll give you good advice. You better come up with a fake Lord of the Rings that revolves around Fuckhead Mountain. I think Fuckhead Mountain is one of the greatest titles of a place. I would go to that amusement park. I would fucking ski it. I don't even ski.
Mommy, let's ride Fuckhead Mountain again.
Or it's just a great place. It's a great place to tell someone to go to.
Yeah.
Someone cuts you off and like, go to Fuckhead Mountain. It just sounds like a great place to go. Or, oh, your husband, is he late again? Yeah, I guess he's too busy at Fuckhead Mountain. Like, it just sounds like a wonderful, like, go to hell, but better. Fuckhead Mountain. Because, like, why is it a mountain?
Because there's so many fuckheads.
Yeah, it built its own mountain. I'm from douchebag crevasse. Like, not the same. I don't like it. It's crevice, by the way. Fuck you, it's crevasse. I'm the preambler. I understand what it is.
If anybody knows how to say it, it is the preambler.
The preambler. I'm the post-ambler. I go on afterwards and make sure everyone's safe afterwards. It's like, for any of you that need a cooling down or fucking therapy, we have a therapy session outside to deal with what Pat just said.
I was just going to say, a guy just hands out business cards. If you feel offended, please call this number. Please talk to this person.
The post-ambler. I lost that. Oh, that's good that I lost my phone, so I'll never know what time it is. I like to know how long the show goes because I get paid by the minute, of course.
That always bodes well for the guest. When the host is looking at the clock halfway through, that means the guest is really killing it this episode.
To be honest, we were having so much fun. I'm like, I wonder how long we just did. And we basically just did a half hour. And I'm like, fuck, we didn't even do anything. We talked about horse fucking and about Fuckhead Mountain. That's what we did. We came up with some good ideas, and it's fun. We can transition to this beautifully. You recorded an album recently that you recorded.
Yeah, I did.
You recorded it before all this, though.
Yeah.
And you put it out during all this.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, I had a recording, and it was one of those situations where, like, it was 2 degrees off what I wanted to be perfect. Does that make sense? It was so close.
I've recorded 2. I've recorded 3, but put out 2. I'm the same way. It's always
okay. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was one of those things. I was like, I really like this, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to add more to it. And it just between COVID and just being in a different place in life from where I was when I first wrote that material, it was like, you know what? I just want to be done with it. And like, this sounds corny as shit, but I was like, I don't want to do the material anymore, but the material was good to me. Like, it got me everything I have in comedy.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to do something with it. So I figured, fuck it, I'll put out an album.
Yeah. When I started recording stuff, it was because I kind of wanted to move on, but also I wanted to give it a send-off, like a funeral for my jokes.
That was it exactly, dude. That was it exactly. I was like, this is a great time capsule of where I was in the first 8 years of comedy. This is the best I got to offer right now, for this. So I said, fuck it, I'll put it out. And I got like the digital album is like 35 minutes. And then the hard copy is like 40. Just because I added an extra track that I just didn't want out there in the digital sphere.
Nice. Once I did it though, and once I did all that, I got so excited about starting
comedy
over
again. Yes,
starting over and writing again that I recorded another hour the next year.
That's amazing.
Come up and then right now during COVID sat there. I just did 40 minutes for the first time since the whole COVID thing. I've done a couple sets, but this one I did 40, and 30 of it is new. And I'm just so excited about how this stuff's coming along that I got really into that whole creating to the point where I almost get and that's bad. I get bored of the stuff I've been doing for a while, and I have to realize that I have to really get it so it flies so much that I have to reinvent little things in it to make myself excited about it because the audience needs to hear it at its best. I can't just get bored before it's at its best.
Yeah, 100. That's hard too, because you can definitely get jokes where they're like 85% the way there and they work well, and you could leave them there and it would be okay, but you know that they're not where they could really end up, and it's hard. That last 10 to 15% is the motherfucker. That's what makes the difference.
Well, the worst is when you finally record it and you did the joke exactly the way you wanted to, and then like a week later, you kind of don't care. You do the joke on stage and you come up with a new riff or new thing that could be added, and like you're like, fuck, that would have been great on there. But then I was like, well, it makes the joke newer, so I started using that as a crutch to build new. Like it felt better to me to use the remix of the joke to do it that way. When I talked to some comics when they did it, they said like the hardest part is when you're going to record, you have the date set, all that stuff, it's that last month or two of all the sets of just doing the same thing over and over. But I found it the opposite. Once I knew I was going to record, that's when I started building the order. So it was more fun to play with the chunks and the groupings of going, oh, this should be here, this goes here. Because I like my album to kind of tell a story in a way. It have a kind of a central theme. So like when I did that, it became more fun to find, oh, this is better to start with. This is better here. This should be the closing part. This should be here. That became more fun. And all the jokes felt new and I had more energy because I was fucking around with them.
See, I've been doing that from the jump. Like, it's funny. Like, the first thing I got noticed for in comedy was my transitions, which tells you how great my jokes were. But I had somebody, like, you know, be like, hey, you really, it flowed. Everything flowed. And that, to me, was one of the things I always, so my entire career, I was doing that. I was always playing around. And then once I found, like, like you said, like a theme or a story for the album, it kind of all, you put it in order. So I had been doing it in the order, trying to get it there the entire time. So yeah, once I had a recording of that was any decent quality, it was like, I can just go with that.
But you put work in the transition. I've watched some of your stuff. So your transitions are like, I know that the title, you're supposed to call them transitions or segues, but your transition segues are jokes. You put actual thought and things into it. I think that for most part, segues and transitions are dead. I think they don't need to be used unless you're going to put effort and work into them and it shows off what you can do. It's a talent and a skill. You shouldn't do crowd work unless you fucking have the ability to do so. You shouldn't do the transition segues unless you have the ability to do so. Because if not, it just becomes this fucking lull in your act and this forced thing. So many comics, they'll send me like clips to help them work on stuff and they'll be like, and that's why I hate bowling. Speaking of crazy shoes, I went to the store, and it's like, wait, what? And then the crowd's like, wait, what? Why did you need to do that? Why don't you just tell the next thing? And they're like, well, no, you have to transition, or the longer one. Like when they'll be like, they don't have a transition, so they just start explaining it. Like, well, I like to read the newspaper. I read the newspaper every day. I used to call it, the newspaper, but now I call it my Facebook news feed. It's like a newspaper. Anyway, the other day I read an article about Donald Trump, and then the jokes about Donald Trump, you're like, what the fuck was that? What was that? But in their head, they need to explain it, and they don't understand. The audience is a sponge taking shit in, and if you give them that garbage, they're waiting for Facebook, they're waiting for newspaper, they've got all this info to solve this riddle. So if you don't fucking pull that out, and I tell people, the way the world works now is because of social media. We are the transition. We are the segue. When I tell you a story about something in my life, and I'm like, and that was a crazy day. We had the roller coaster, and I'm like, oh yeah, another thing. We went for lunch the other day, and I just tell you another story. I don't go, speaking of a roller coaster, my belly was like a roller coaster when I had tacos. Like, you don't fucking talk like that. So why are you talking like that? But if you could make it an art form, like give us an example of one of your segues. Give us one. You have an example you can give?
Oh, God, off the top. Dude, I fucking forgot my act.
Nice. Me too. That's another reason why I'm writing new ones is because I know the jokes, but yeah, it's weird.
Dude, that was part of the thing for me too. I was like, dude, it's going to be, not only is it going to be, months before I even get on stage and do it again, it's going to feel awkward just trying to remember all these old jokes and all the nuances and everything else. I was like, I'm fucking putting it to bed. I'm done. I was done telling those jokes, man.
Yeah. When I was,
it just gets to the point where like you start bordering on like the audience is starting to lose interest because you're losing interest.
Yeah. When I first started, I would get to work with some decent headliners that had some names and stuff like that, just at like local clubs. And people would come up to them and be like, oh, I was hoping you'd tell this joke or tell this joke. And then I would hear the comic. Like I heard Greg Giraldo say it once, and he said, I don't even know how to tell that joke anymore. And in my mind, I was like, what the fuck do you mean you know how to tell the joke? But then, years later, people have asked me, and I'm like, I don't know how to tell that joke anymore. I'd have to. One time, I wanted to test myself, so I went. I was like, I'm gonna try to do jokes that I had done my first album, and it was just a couple months ago. I'm like, I wonder if I could still do them. I had to literally go to Spotify and listen to my album,
dude,
so I could hear how to do the joke. And then even then, it was like, well, I'm not that person anymore, so I can't even deliver it in that way. So I got to fuck with the delivery and play around, but I didn't know the time. And I'm like, I'd go on stage and try to do it, but I'd forget a key little point that made the whole thing work. And it was so crazy. It's just something you wrote and you said every day, and all of a sudden it's just gone. It's just crazy.
Hundreds upon hundreds of repetitions in a couple of months and not wanting to be a part of it anymore. And my brain was like, goodbye. And then here's the real bitch of it. I got in. This is how much I love my career. 2020. I get into my first comedy festival. So, of course, COVID breaks out.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So I got into Skankfest. That got rescheduled for next year.
Nice.
But I also got into the Burbank Comedy Festival. They're doing it digitally.
I saw that,
now, so now I got to do a COVID, like 3 COVID sets on Zoom for the
They
Burbank
have to be about
Comedy.
COVID?
No, but I'm saying like because it's on Zoom and stuff.
I thought they were making you do COVID jokes. I'm like, oh Lord.
But it's like so now I gotta go and do exactly what you said. I gotta go listen to my album and be like, fuck, man, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? What jokes am I gonna do? And it's 5-minute sets. So I basically gotta take like one old set and just repeat it.
Yeah, I haven't done any COVID Zoom shows. I wouldn't do them. I said no.
Me either.
I got asked a couple of times, and then I did say yes like about 2 weeks ago to one. I'm like, fuck it. Now it's all kind of over. People outside. Now I would try it, but then I got canceled, thank God, because I didn't want to do it. I've been podcasting all that, and the people that did it, like I said before, kudos to you. A buddy of mine, Brian Bowden, said on my podcast, he said that it works a different muscle, and it kind of helps you think and react a different way. I'm like, yeah, I don't need that muscle. I'm good. I don't need it.
Yeah, for me, it's like I'll do Zoom podcasts and that kind of stuff. But to do, I got to do it. I got the sets coming up, and I don't know what it's going to be like. Like I guess you just tell the jokes and just hope people are laughing.
Yeah, it's kind of like there are people in the world that can do that webcam girl shit. Where they're like, yeah, I'll watch that girl lay on her bed and then like do shit to herself and just watch. I didn't want to have sex or not do it at all. I don't want to. That's weird. I can't do that show. But there are people like, yeah, I can do that. I've been Zoom comedy my whole life. I've been Zoom sexing the whole time. I couldn't do that. That's weird. That's not the same thing. I either want it or I don't want it. I need the energy in the room in both situations. I need the energy in the room.
Especially in the latter.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude,
with a ladder? Yeah, sometimes I put her on a ladder. It's crazy. She's tiny, and I'm like, climb up, get up here.
I do a WWE style. I climb up on top and dive in.
I did, but now, just like WWE, there's no audience to watch. It's just weird. It's just weird.
It loses the energy for sure.
But the storytelling's better. And in both WWE and my sex life, without the crowd, you can hear the announcer now, and it's weird. It's like when you're performing, you're like, oh, man, Michael Cole, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to do this with my headlock.
I got to say, oddly, I kind of like watching UFC without the crowd because when somebody gets cracked, you fucking hear it, dude.
So I don't ever watch it, but I listen to Joe Rogan, so he's explained that, how great that is to hear the punching. I like fake fighting. I don't like real fighting. I don't like watching videos where everyone's getting punched and people getting hurt. I don't like that at all.
Oh, that's my shit, dude.
Ah, there you go.
I grew up doing martial arts, and so I've always loved watching any kind of fight.
Yeah, but you don't like uneven fight. You don't like it when like 5 people punch a kid in the head for no reason, right?
I mean, I like them because every now and then you see one where like 3 guys come at somebody who's had 4 boxing lessons in houses, all of them. Those are the greatest videos in the world. I like
that. I'm talking about like when there's a kid in school and he's in a bathroom and 5 people start punching him and they just record it. And it's just someone getting beaten up. This isn't fun. Now, if the one kid turned around, did some ninja shit and fucked up the 5 people, then yeah, I don't want to watch someone get hurt. I don't want to watch kids getting hurt.
I'm not watching it to see the one kid get the shit kicked out of him. I'm watching with the hope that he does a Jean-Claude Van Damme move.
If he did that, it wouldn't be on the internet because that would
Bullshit.
be something. No, why? Because it would be heralded. Nowadays, it can't be that. Now it's got to be the beating, so we can use it to go against each other and divide the world. Because look at this. Because they're all fighting because of a group they believe they're part of. Like, no, you're not. You're all just morons on the internet. Stop posting punching. Stop it.
Well, I'll say this: the whole like Proud Boys, Antifa, MAGA fights. That was cooler when it was the Jets and the Sharks. That shit is gay as fuck.
Yes, they are. Well, one thing they wouldn't like to be called is gay as fuck. That might get them
Either
to fight
group
you some
would be
more.
happy about it, and I'm saying it.
Gay as Fuckhead Mountain. That's how gay it is. That's the new AF, as Fuckhead Mountain. Listen, I don't mind it when it's like, okay, that video where that one black lady's spinning the other one by her hair, and then someone took it and put it to like ice skating. Okay, if you make it fun and you fucking do editing, then yeah, if you take me out of the part where someone's hurt element and put good music in the background and make it fun, then fine. But if it's just some poor person who's just literally walking by and someone's like, I don't believe in something, so you look like the thing I don't believe in, so I'm punching you in the face. As a guy who has, I'm a 45-year-old white man who has the face that looks like somebody that would curb stomp you, but I never have, has the face that looks like he would own someone, which I never have. I look like an undercover cop. I'm all the things you'd want to punch. I don't need someone just having a thought, seeing me, and wanting to fucking make a sweet video. I don't need that going on. I'm loud enough and angry enough to look like I'll fight you, but I'm pretty sure I have one fight left in my whole body, and I want to waste it on a goddamn video.
That is honestly, I'll say that. That is one of my number one fears, is to get into a street fight and somebody records it.
Yeah, that's the problem, the recording. If someone wants to attack me, fine, but why are we recording?
But I'm a hypocritical piece of shit. Yes. Because every video out there, I watch. Yeah. I love them. I'm a fucking voyeuristic cunt. I watch fucking war clips. I go to the fucking veteran websites and watch. Check out this Iraqi guy get blown up. Sure.
But you know what? I have no problem with that because they signed up for it. They signed up for it. They're on a team. They're doing it. Some kid just walking around and getting punched because he has a MAGA hat on. It's so stupid that we care about this. Who gives a fuck? They're not teams. Why did it's like the Yankees and Red Sox and now it's fucking Biden and Trump? It's like, it's weird. Or
both of those teams, this is
weird teams.
Like the epitome of that South Park episode. Do you want a douche or a turd sandwich? Those are your options.
It's just it's so weird how much we've fallen into this trap of like, I'm on this team or this team. It's like,
here's my favorite part. Both of the guys you're rooting for have more in common with each other than your broke ass.
Yeah, they all don't care about us.
At all.
They don't. It's like so. I mean, they got us fucking battling and fighting and making a race thing, which is so weird. We're all struggling. It's so dumb. So if you're gonna have a fight in a video, yeah, okay. When the guy put the girl in the ice cream thing, I watched that twice because I was like, why is she going in the ice cream thing? Why are they putting it? Then I found out it was like a fake stage thing. If you're doing something weird to the person and I know they're okay, then I can watch it. But if it's just like a punch to the head or a kid getting dropped on his neck and you know he's paralyzed, I can't watch that shit. I got a son. I don't want to think about him getting hit. He's got my same white head. He's a good kid who would never say anything wrong to anybody. But he has the face like they're going to go, okay, you might have watched American History X once too many times. Here comes a punch. Do-do-do-do. Here comes a punch. You never know. But just start throw a punch. Now I got to watch a video of that? Fuck that.
Well, that's why I'm happy living in North Carolina. A lot of that shit ain't happening down here. There's not a lot of
North Carolina is always known for their equality. How's your Tar Heels? How are they not canceled?
Dude, I don't know how half the shit out there isn't canceled.
But the Redskins
None
got
of it
canceled.
makes any sense to me.
The Tar Heels are okay? That means Blackfoot.
Dude, the fact that the Redskins made it to 2020 is incredible.
Why? They're not. Their skin isn't red.
Yeah, but bro,
not red. Chinese people aren't yellow. Red people aren't red. We're not white. We're like peach.
I mean, yeah, if you're trying to do by the Crayola box, sure.
Yeah,
but
yes, let's do it by the Crayola box. Well, I was raised poor. I only had the 8-crayon set. I want to live in a world where there's 64. Maybe even 128 crayons. Let's all find. The more crayons we have, maybe you should be crayon sexual. Maybe we should care. And by the way, I just coined that phrase, crayon sexual. We should definitely all care about all different colors and types, but not fucking bring it into 4 or 5 teams. Who cares? It's a football team. They're getting concussions. They're fucking being raised to be told to be awful people and be gladiators. Of course they're named after awful things. They're supposed to be. Just calling it Washington football team is fucking stupid. That's what Europe does. Fuck Europe. We're better than Europe. Don't just call it a football team.
Oh, honestly, I'm sick and tired of the dumb team names. We're the Wildcats. Oh, are you? Are you Jimbo? You're a Wildcat? Fuck off.
That's not fair to fucking Cougars because that sounds too close to like them. And I've called old ladies Wildcats. So you're making fun of them now. That's what you're doing. Tar Heel.
That's being
Tar Heel.
ageist, and I won't stand for it.
You can say what you want. It's not because somebody stood in tar. You know why they're called the Tar Heels.
Dude, there's a bunch of shit like that. There's a million things like that out there. We should just cancel everything and start over.
Or we should just not care. It's not.
Hey, that is one of the pieces of the white privilege that I enjoy is I get to go live in the woods and not give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
This shit don't affect me.
Why does it matter what teams are called or if a puppy on a cartoon wants to be a cop? How do we care about that?
Dude, I mean, yeah, that is the thing, though. But you know what that is? That's just businesses wanting to fucking – that's why when you turn on EA Sports, it says Black Lives Matter. Do you really think the programmers at EA Sports give a flying fuck about Black Lives? No. They just know as a business you have to do that right now or you're an asshole. So they want to keep getting business, so they do it.
It's like the whole world right now. You know how people always go, some days, next civilizations or alien life forms are going to look down at us and they're going to judge us. But we always said that it's like a dumb thing. I think people are really planning their lives for that. If they think it's a god or an alien or whatever the fuck, or we're inside the Matrix or we're all a simulation. Whatever it is, they think that we're doing stuff to fucking cater to, I want to make sure I look good, but we're looking like fucking morons. We look like fucking idiots. The simple fact that we're saying a Black Life Matters, they're like, dude, none of you matter. You're in my fucking video game. I fucking made you. You don't matter. You're a stupid thing. Nobody matters. We don't matter. We're all dumb. Behavior matters, not fucking color of skin. Act like a fucking normal human. Shut the fuck up. Stop punching people. Stop fucking yelling at people. Vote for somebody. Just grow up.
My favorite part is that at every Black Lives Matter protest, it's a bunch of fucking purple-haired white girls smashing the windows.
Yeah.
That all the destruction is the white people at the Black Lives Matter rally. That's my favorite part.
And people with purple hair get mad at what? Old people for saying to be different. But guess who had purple hair first? Old people with bad hair dyes. That's what we were growing up. There was no people with purple hair unless they were in a punk band. It was some old woman like Estelle Getty when she took her wig off. Like, she's purple? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, she tried to dye it weird. Like, that's what it was. I don't care what color hair you have. I don't care who you fuck. I don't care what the fuck you want to be. I don't care if you want to be a llama, person, lady, he, they, she. I don't care. Live your life, do your thing. But don't yell at me. Don't make me do your shit. Don't fucking fight me. And don't knock down the statue near my house because that's the landmark that I tell people to find me and they're bringing me money because I'm poor. All right? Turn left at the racist white guy and I'm right there down the street.
Honestly, I'm even okay with them toppling the statues if you got a replacement in mind. Like, okay, you want to tear down Robert E. Lee. He was a Confederate traitorous fuckhead. Okay, cool, no problem. But at least have something to put in its place. It just looks weird, this fucking half a stand with, like, the feet of a guy.
Right.
It looks like the whole town's a foot fetishist.
I wouldn't knock it down. Fucking feet. I hate feet. If you're going to knock one down, I guess if that's your thing, right, put one up. I wouldn't even knock it down. I would just put another one next to it. Give it a counter thing. Here's your Robert E. Lee. Next to Robert E. Lee, we got George Washington Carver. Because you're like, all right, Robert E. Lee didn't like this, but he liked peanuts, and guess who invented the peanut? Whatever the fuck he did. It's like, this guy.
That was a great open mic transition right there.
Yeah, see, I did it. And you put them together. And they're both there together. You just put another one next to it. Because nobody fucking, I've said this a million times, but nobody fucking gives a shit about statues. It's the stupidest fucking thing.
That's the thing, though. There are some people who do. The people who tore it down, I got to say this. I'll give them this thing. If I were descended from somebody who is owned, I wouldn't want the statue of the guy who fought to keep owning my ancestor out in my backyard. I wouldn't want it either.
Okay, but
it would be like having a fucking Goebbels statue outside of a Jewish community center.
No, it wouldn't be, because if you do your history, in that war that Robert E. Lee was fighting, there were a lot of people that were black, that were slaves, that fought alongside him because they didn't believe.
Yes, because they were slaves, and if they didn't, they would.
No, a lot of them fought not because they were slaves. No, really, there really is in history as that. And I'm not saying either side, but what I'm saying is the people that are tearing down the statues aren't doing research. They're just knocking it down for attention. They don't care about it at all. The only people that care about statues are two types of people. A teacher who has to do a field trip and doesn't feel like doing anything else because they got to bring people there, or a homeless guy who needs to get blown for fucking money from a crackhead behind a statue. Besides that, and pigeons. Three things. We're the only ones that care about statues. No one gives a fuck. You didn't even know what statue was in your town. 99% of you didn't even know there was a statue of some racist guy. You had no idea until they knocked it down. You didn't even know it was there. You just knew there was one on your green somewhere.
I don't know, man. I can see their point. And again, I'll say this. As a veteran, that guy fucking tried to fucking end America. Fuck him. Why did the statue even get? That's the better question.
But didn't we try to end America by killing the Native Americans? Didn't we come here to try to end America whenever America was first? When we first came, that's what fucking happens. That's what war. That's what change. We still
but you don't put. Then when you win, you don't put up statues of the losers. Who the fuck does that?
As a reminder,
who the fuck beats
It doesn't have to be a good. Not every statue means it's a good thing. It's a reminder. You think putting up a list of POWs is a good thing? It's a reminder of the losses we had. You put that up there to remind you of how we've changed and we've become better. You leave it there so we can look at it and go, "Don't be this guy." You take it down, you erase it, and then we fucking forget. Keep it up as a reminder.
I don't think you forget just because the statue's gone. But I think if you at least change the plaque, where just, hey, instead of Robert E. Lee, Confederate soldier, hey, Robert E. Lee, traitorous losing cunt. If it said that instead, I would be maybe more okay with leaving the statue.
But then are you saying that people that did have the view, not that I do, but if people do have that view, people that did believe in what they did back then and were raised in that way, they're not allowed their thoughts and beliefs? You have to put you.
They can. Hey, you can think. Hey,
why can't they? Why
anything you?
Because there were a lot of people that did believe that way. Why does it have to be loser cunt? Why can't it just be something there for them? We're supposed to have all different values. We're the melting pot. All different thoughts, freedom of speech, whatever. Put it there. But then you learn about it. You ask questions. Mommy, who
that's the thing.
That's
the
thing.
You knock
it down, and then you say every statue. They knocked down a statue of fucking Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, I did. People
Stevie
do
Ray
dumb
Vaughan.
things.
Did he fight in a war?
No, but here's the thing.
In other words, they're just knocking everything down. They're knocking everything down. They want to change it. Baseball players are fucking now kneeling. 2 years ago, oh my God, if you kneel, it's the worst thing. Now we're kneeling. See, no one knows the fuck to think. They're all stupid. Leave statues up. Who gives a fuck? Crackheads need somewhere to hide from the rain. Now crackheads have nowhere to hide from the rain. Where do they go? They need.
I don't think anybody was sheltered under the ass of a Robert E. Lee statue.
They had to. Wonder why? Because no one's buying the newspaper anymore. So they didn't have the paper to put over their head. People don't have cardboard because Amazon took over the cardboard game.
You're talking about like old timey hobos with a stick and a handkerchief and a can of beans.
Yes, those are the best kind. Those are the lovable ones, not the scary new ones that are just out there because of drugs. The ones that wanted to live the world and travel the rails. Lovable hobos with a stick and a dream and a harmonica, and they knew how to play 3 notes, but you didn't give a fuck. And their name was
Those are a movie recreation, like hookers who enjoy their job. They don't really exist.
Just like Civil War, it's not real. We weren't there. Were you there? You don't fucking know. Glory. Did you see how many black guys were in Glory? They were having a great time. It was called Glory. They were having a blast. It wasn't called Sadness. It was called Glory. Hooray. Denzel was hot in that. Hot black dudes fighting? I can't argue that. The white guys looked ugly. Denzel was handsome as fuck in that. Where's Denzel?
That was specific.
That's what you do. You take down Robert E. Lee and you put up a statue, Denzel Washington, in his glory outfit, and you go, he died in a movie for this war. And that's it. And they'd still tear it down. Someone would still tear it down. It's dumb. It's stupid and it's dumb. All of it's dumb. COVID made us have too much free time. That's the problem.
100%. I'll say this. COVID is the reason why shit is as crazy as it is. People were not happy about the way things were in this country before COVID.
Most people didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, dude, I got to tell you. Let me ask you a question. In all seriousness, you ever had a really positive experience with a cop?
Always.
Other than Keith the cop?
No, always.
You've never called a cop when something happened to you and they didn't do their fucking job? That never happened to you once?
No, I said always. I always have good experience with cops. Always. Okay. I love the cops. I'm 100% for the cops. Even when I've done something wrong, I've always been handled well. And every time in my life where I've gone through some shit really seriously recently, I've had police being supportive to me and being there for me while dealing with all this shit. I believe in people that take that job. I do believe that some people, like any job, do things wrong. But for the most part, to take that job, you're sacrificing your life and being known that everyone fucking hates you. I believe and love the cops, where I think they just need a new form of training them. That's all.
Okay. Well, I like the idea of the cops, and I agree that they need to be retrained. I'll say this. Look, I wasn't some special forces Green Beret in the military, but I spent a little bit of time behind a machine gun on convoys, okay? And I get very
frustrated. Is that
frustrated.
code for anal sex, or do you really on a gun?
That's what we call it in the Army.
Okay, good.
There were plenty of times when we were driving through downtown Kandahar where I had what I hoped were rocks bouncing off my helmet and not grenades.
Right.
And I didn't go ahead and wax a bunch of civilians, because if I did, I go to jail for probably the rest of my life. Any cop who is scared can go turn in their badge and their gun, put it on the desk, and say, I'm going to go be a bartender.
Yeah, they're not.
Something no soldier, Marine, any serviceman could do. So I personally, if you're downrange, there ain't shit you're going to do.
I was in the Navy for 2 weeks and I quit.
Once you're actually deployed.
You said none. You said none. I will
Once
call
you're
you
actually deployed, you are not getting out. You can say, I'm scared and anything else. Doesn't matter. You signed up. You're there for it. So if the soldiers and Marines who are scared and can't leave don't commit war crimes against people in a war zone who don't speak their language, I think the cops could be a little bit more mellow in America.
They aren't the same people.
Surrounded by people who do speak their language. I'm just saying.
Well, I understand. Okay, I understand that, but you're also just taking two different jobs and comparing them. They're totally different
They're
jobs.
dressing and acting like the military and doing things in America to Americans that if I did to civilians in Afghanistan,
not all of
I would
them.
go to
You're
prison.
saying every cop is.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's
I'm saying there are cops out there doing it.
There's bad soldiers too. There's awful soldiers who do terrible things and kill babies.
Yes,
and
they go to prison for it.
Right.
That's the difference.
And a lot of these cops will go to prison for the things they did. We're not see what's okay. Are you watching media or do you really have things? Because if you're watching the media, yeah, they're highlighting all the bad ones. You're telling me all cops are bad. They're not.
I never said that.
But that's what I'm saying. Most of them are good. There's a bad bunch for everything. There's bad doctors. There's doctors who fucking just give people medication to fucking kill them. Don't mean all doctors should fucking leave. There's a lot of people that take the job for it. The police that I've ever dealt with in my life, those people have done things for me that they didn't need to do. They could tell me, you're a straight white male. Fuck you. We don't need to believe in you. We don't need to believe that whatever because, maybe a woman said something and they're not going to believe me because that's the way the world's fucking set. But no, they've believed the word I've had to say. They've been there for me. I have friends that are cops. I've always believed in it. Yes, like everything. Believe me, the military is not – there are a lot of things wrong with the fucking military. Yeah, you could get in trouble for it. That's your one thing. But there's a lot of people that go in there with fucking anger issues that weren't allowed a long time ago. Same thing with the police. We need a new way to fucking filter how they get in. And we need more training during it.
To quote the late, great Patrice O'Neill, you shouldn't be a cop unless you could arrest me without that badge.
Okay, I mean, I guess if you want to take the late great Patrice O'Neill's, he was an officer for how long? It's a fun saying and all, but like the not late, I guess the still here. Andrew Yang said they need training like taekwondo and things like that. They need certain jiu-jitsu. They need certain.
They need
training
to be taking jiu-jitsu. They need to be taking jiu-jitsu.
They need to at least be a purple belt. They need to learn certain training. Not only for the fighting part, but for the mentality. And what they really need to do is teach these partners how to really work with each other. You need to be able to look at a guy.
De-escalate.
You need
to
be
down a notch.
Or even if they can't de-escalate, learn when that person needs a break. Learn to turn around and just because even I might not be able to calm down, but you should be able to look at me and see in my eyes because you know me that hey man, maybe you need to get off that guy. Maybe you're on that guy and you're angry and you're not doing the right thing. Take a break. I got it from here, and then you talk about it. Most of the reports that happen against cops are by other cops. Well, most police officers do it, but it gets fucking pushed aside. So the higher ups, the ones that are up there that have been through all this shit and aren't getting the right counseling by seeing 30 years of this shit, that's the problem with the higher ups that aren't training them. And therefore, because it's this trickle-down effect, and now everyone in the world hates the cops, why would you take this job? You wouldn't take this job. You'll take it now if you're an ex-athlete or an angry person or somebody wants to get their shit out. That's what you're taking it now because you're ready to fight and be in war like a military person. But that's not what you are. You're here to police. You're not here to fucking soldier. There's a difference in the thing. That problem is in the higher ups not giving a fuck, and now we're in this part. We're also now in a part that was never anything anyone ever thought they'd see. What's crazy? It's crazier now than ever. It would take an insane amount of training to ever be ready for what happened here. The same way we weren't ready as people to be ready for not working and not having money and all that. No one, corporations, people, police, everyone, nobody could have ever predicted this would have happened. So to fucking think you could do that, if you think that we could just handle it normally, you should go to Fuckhead Mountain. Ladies and gentlemen, that was probably the greatest ever callback in the history of the world. And I had it in my head 2 minutes in, and I was fighting to get there. Like, how do I get to Fuckhead Mountain? So how many soldiers died on Fuckhead Mountain? So you can make jokes, the two of you white men with your bald heads, just all about the mountain and the fucking.
That's right. A lot of good men died on Fuckhead Mountain.
Do you think they fucked heads on Fuckhead Mountain? Was they called it that? Were they stupid, or did they fuck a lot of heads? Or were they just dumbheads, like fuckheads?
I think it was a combination of both. I think it was retards fucking faces.
That sounds like a Fleetwood Mac song.
Retards fucking faces.
It's just so it's like so much like hard guitar for no reason.
No, I think we probably agree more than we disagree. I think definitely everybody likes the idea of cops. I own a house now. If something happens, I want to be able to call and be like, "Hey, get over here, fuckhead, do something."
Maybe call him officer, fuckhead. He'd help you.
I'll just say I haven't always had great like my house got robbed when I was in high school, and they never. I mean, we had a lot of stuff taken. They didn't even dust for fingerprints.
Well, they knew you did. They knew you did it.
Well, that was it. We had the Italian last name in Maine, so they're like, "Yeah, I know what happened. Go back to Fuckhead Mountain with that shit."
Okay, witness protection, Alfred. Okay, what are you doing in Maine and you have an Italian guy? What are you doing here? You're hiding. The Gambinos will take care of you. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
I know how these insurance scams go.
Who's going to help me? Tony Ducks or Fat Tony? Which Tony's going to help us?
Tony 2 times. Tony
2 times. Why did you tell him that? Because his wife cheated on him twice. Oh, man, that's harsh. I thought he said things twice.
You joke about that to the guy? Yeah, he's pretty busted up about it.
Yeah, who do you think fucked his wife? Me, twice. Hey-oh. Oh, it's Paulie the asshole. Yeah, you know me. All right. Alfred, where can they follow you? Where can they find all your stuff? This is a fun time.
Please go to alfredcomedy.com. I got links to all my social media up there. If you want to buy my album, go to hardcoresofty.com. And thank you, Pat, for having me. This is a blast.
No, dude, thanks for coming out. We'll have to do it again soon. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, this is a good time. I hope we do it soon.